Hey y'all. So I am back. I haven't recorded a video in a few months actually. Um I decided to put my little cowgirl hat on. I was trying it on and I was like, well, I like how it look. Plus I didn't do my leave out. So this is what y'all gonna get. Uh, so what pulled me out of my little hole was talking about those girls. Yes, on Real Housewives of Atlanta, Sweet 16 season, they are back. Um, and it's a good thing. I will say this season, some of these people want to kiss their butts and say it was a 10 out of 10. It was this, it was that. It wasn't a 10 out of 10. Okay, but it was way better than the last two seasons. I would give it an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8, and I'm giving it an 8 because of the opulence that Miss Shamia has brought to this franchise. This is what this show is supposed to be about. I remember watching Funky Dineva few years ago, and he made the reference that it looks like Real Housewives of Atlanta was just going up to the local Chili's and having a couple of drinks. And I don't want to see that on TV because I can do that with my friends. And I was like, you know what? He right. Like, I literally could just call a couple of my girlfriends up right now, go to happy hour, and, just, talk some mess, throw some shade, and let that be that. That's, you know, that was too real when he said it like that, because what are we really watching this show for at this point if I'm not looking at opulence and I'm not seeing, the lifestyle? Like if I watch Beverly Hills, heck, New York back in the day, just a lot of these girls, we just, I want to see the black women thrive, and I love to see Shamia living such a opulent life, but also be so real. What I do feel a little uneasy about, and what I am going to have to keep my eye open on, is Shamia is a little much. Like, we saw her in little bits and pieces being Portia's friend and being a friend to the show, but all the facial expressions and the long story about the bubble guts, all of that was just, I like her, and I like what she brings. Great addition to the show, but don't keep Palmer the situation. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need you singing every 5 minutes. That Rain Rain Go Away song was a bit much and too long. I don't know who edited that episode, but they could have cut that a little short. Okay. Um, But yeah, saying all that to say, I love what she brings to the show. I do like the fact that she's the center, but like, I don't need you on 10 all the time. And maybe she's not gonna be on 10 all the time. Maybe we're gonna see her do different things. I hope that's what we will see. I just don't feel like seeing her sing and twerk every episode. So, but again, her lifestyle, beautiful. Her home, gorgeous. Her party, larger than life, what we expect to watch. The stuff that we regular people cannot do. I want to see that on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I love that for this franchise. Um, Even though Shamia is a new peach holder, I am not calling her a newbie because we already know who she is. Like, if I said Shamia a year ago and you watch TV, you would automatically think about her in a one name situation. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't even be you, uh, trying to figure it out. If I said Shamia, you would know exactly who I'm talking about. So I wouldn't consider her a newbie. Yes, she's a new peach holder, but she's not new to the watchers of the show. Jumping into the newies, the Kelly, the Brit, the Angela of it all. I think I'm gonna like Angela. I'm trying to get a little bit more, but you could tell she felt uncomfortable this episode. She really couldn't get into it because her wig was slipping. Um, Maybe this is a lesson learned. You're on TV now, baby. Um, get you a little bit better glue. And it was gonna be hot. Y'all are in hot Atlanta. It definitely looked hot, and I used to live in Atlanta, so I totally know like when it's hot, there it's not by any water for real, so there's no breeze to catch off the water. um it's gonna be hot, it's gonna be humid, it's just gonna be extremely, it's gonna take it up a notch. So I definitely would say, this is the first season faux pas. She's gonna learn. She's gonna do better, and then we're gonna get to know her throughout the season, of course, from the clips that we saw. But we really didn't get to vibe with her that much this episode, and I look forward to vibing with her and Charles Oakley because from what I'm understanding, he's gonna be Peter Thomas. Don't give us too much Peter. Don't give us no Charlesetta. I don't need another, house husband trying to be a housewife situation like Peter Thomas. Um, Peter was good TV until it just got dark, because it was obvious that he was picking fights with women. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to grab my phone. But yeah, so that's on Angela. Kelly and Britt, I do like the young energy. I do like, you know, when they showed Kelly and her daughters. Um, I don't like the fillers. I'm not sure what it is with black women who are thinking that they got to keep getting these fillers. And mind you, these women are in their 30s, like mid 30s, getting these fillers in their face. This episode was just tight faces, with the exception of like Shamia. Um, I'm not sure Portia had a whole bunch of them, but it ain't like Britt and 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 Kelly's. They a little expressionless. Because even when they showed like the clip of the cookbook, it was like, that's you, girl, because she looks like kind of a different person versus, and yes, she may have been younger when she shot that, but she's not that old. She is like mid late 30s, and so she shouldn't look that much different. um so yeah, uh that I like the energy. I like the young energy. I like the business ownership of it all. um I love that Brit, is in insurance. Um, showing different opportunities that are out there for black women and different things and different ways that we make money. So I'm all for that. Just lay off the fillers, ladies. We black. We don't crack. um, let's see what else I want to talk about. Drew, I don't know why she back. I probably would have much rather have seen Sanya on the show. Sanya had another baby. She's pregnant again. Um, and she's married. People who are actively married, I do want to see that on the show. Now, what I will say is that I have seen a lot of people make comments, and a lot of people try to say, "Oh, well, this is Housewives. People should be married." The idea from Housewives going all the way back to the OC was not necessarily that everybody was in like marital bliss. It was showing different stages of a woman who had been or is currently a housewife. Like, for instance, since we're talking about Atlanta, I'm going to use Atlanta as an example. Sheree was divorcing Bob on season 1. So it was this woman who went from this lavish lifestyle to trying to figure it out on her own with her children about to be single again. So that was the start of her storyline. You had Nene, who was actively married and marital bliss. Um, it was just different things, different stages, and I'm okay with that. What I'm not necessarily okay with is how like Kenya came on the show. Kenya tried to come on the show, and I'm not talking about Kenya now. I'm talking about Kenya, how she came on the show. She came on the show with this play, relationship because she knew at that time that you had to be attached to a man. See, that's how important it was to have a dude on the show, or at least be attached to a dude on the show. Whether you were married or divorcing them or their mistress, it was important to be attached to someone who had something substantial. Um, so that's why she took that, pay date or that pay relationship with Walter. But that should have been. Well, I don't really want to say that because I do like the fact that Kenya was on the show and the things that she brought to the show. But to keep up that standard, when they found out she paid Walter to be on the show, she probably shouldn't have got another season. But she kind of opened the door for people to pay for relationships down the road, or for women to come on who aren't actively married, or in or any of that, because it's housewives. you know, I'm not currently married, but I wouldn't expect to be on the show. Like, even Candy wasn't married when she got on the show, but she was engaged. It just so happened that her fiance got killed, so they still want to follow her story. We, the public, was still interested in Candy's story. So she came on the show for the purposes to probably get married on the show. So, that's how it all works. Even with Kim Zolciak. Kim Zolciak was a mistress of a very wealthy man. And so that was a stage of being a housewife. She didn't have to have a job. Big Papa was paying for everything. So it was also a plus that she was the only white woman on the show living this, wild kind of life. So it was like, okay, we're not showing the black women like this. We're going to show her. But yeah, the premise of the show is to show women in different stages. So like Cynthia coming back, and although I know Kenya's not really a part of the cast anymore, what were we gonna talk about? Her on year 3 of divorcing uh nose ring. What was his name? Mark. Nobody. Who? Why? Why? Why do we want to hear that again? Um. Yeah. So yeah. I do like the fact that it seems like there are more women on this show in wife stages. You know what I mean? Like Kelly's getting a divorce, Britt is married, Shamia's married, Portia's getting a divorce. Although I think they signed her before they realized she was getting a divorce, but she's still in a stage of some sort of marriage. Let's see who else that's on the cast. Yeah, it just seems like everybody's in a different stage of getting married or divorced. The Drew situation does not seem legit. It seems very contrived. How convenient you're dating or supposedly dating Dennis. Who wants to see that? I don't. I mean, Drew is a very beautiful woman, absolutely gorgeous. I think she has a nice voice, but there are so many other women in Atlanta that could have took that spot and took to the next level. Now again, I do enjoy the early 40s, the late 30s, mid 30s girls on the show, because that's what we want to see. I would enjoy some OGs being on the show, and when people say OGs, they need to be very clear. OG is cast member season 1. Stop saying you're an OG and you came in season 5. Candy season 2 is not an OG. She was on there a long time, but she's not an OG. OG in anything, any situation, is that you was here from the bottom. And the bottom is episode 1, season 1. So, you know, there's that. It would have been nice to have like a Sheree, around, but word on the curbs, they didn't have enough to pay. They didn't want to pay Sheree what Sheree wanted. So that's that. Hopefully, maybe I got my fingers crossed, and let's watch for this. I'm thinking that maybe last episode of this season they may tease a Nene Leakes return. I don't have any information to back this up. I want to be clear. That is just my thoughts with how everything's moving with Nene's relationship with the network. Everybody gets on TV, said they want Nene back. The fans still want Nene back. And the way this show is going, yes, they're going to gain some viewership back, but it's not going to do what they want it to do. If they said today or tomorrow and they tease Nene Leakes walking into a scene, do you know how crazy those ratings will be. And yes, people like ratings, don't I pay attention to ratings because they watch it the next day on Peacock. Oh, they stream. This would be something people want to watch live. I know firsthand, I'm probably going to stop what I'm doing to turn it on at 8 o'clock if they told me Nene was coming. And I know some people were saying, oh, Nene's not coming back. She did this. She sued her job. Da, 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 da. So clearly they settled with her because clearly she probably had the evidence to back it up. Because Bravo, NBC, Universal money is long. They don't have to settle with somebody if they didn't find that that person may have had some type of leg to stand on. Yeah. So, but yeah. And you know, going back to Portia, you know, I love Portia. I love Portia. Um, she just adds something, whether she talks about Simon or she don't talk about Simon, it is what it is. I didn't really do my hair today for real, but this is Go Naked hair. And I've had this hair in my head for about a month now. Yeah. Cause I got it done the day before Valentine's Day. With that being said, I done washed it. I didn't do it today because I wasn't going nowhere, and I hadn't planned on getting on here, but I did watch the episode. Um, and I felt like sounding awful, and it hadn't been on YouTube in a minute, so I was like, let me put a hat on and take my little twist out and come talk. But it is absolutely gorgeous hair. Um, yeah, so I'm a Go Naked girl. I know some people like, well, who buy no Go Naked? People with coin. I ain't got the. I don't have no Bitcoin. I don't make it sound like I got no Bitcoin. Okay, but I definitely spend money on what needs to be spent. You know, there's some things that you can buy cheap. There's some things you need to put a little cash in. Like, for instance, this hat, Fashion Nova, cheap. Because I'm probably gonna wear this twice and probably give it away. And not saying that I want to just, you know, waste money, but when stuff is fast fashion and you know you finna wear it somewhere, you're gonna take some pictures in it or whatever, you probably ain't gonna keep it. Especially if you like, I took a picture in it 2 weeks ago. I don't, especially with social media, you kind of careful about when you wear something, when you take pictures, when you post the pictures, because you don't make it sound like you're wearing the same thing over and over again. I do have a favorite outfit that was fast fashion that I don't I refuse to give it away. It has to completely shred on me for me to get it away because I feel like it just looks so good on me. My weight fluctuates. So it's like one of those outfits that if I feel fat or if I feel skinny, I can put it on and I just still feel like that girl. So yeah. But I digress. I got to get off that subject, But yeah, overall, season 16, they have my interest. I'm watching. I'm tuning in. Um, the girls are girling. I'm excited to see what happens. Um, I'm anticipating when the episode will air when Kenya, does what she does and it ends up being her last episode. Um, and here's the thing with that. I've seen some people online trying to compare what Kenya did to Phaedra and Candy. And I don't think a lot of people want to be honest with themselves and really break the fourth wall. Breaking the fourth wall is basically behind the scenes tea or expressing that it's not like it's just a camera following these people around. It's a production. There are producers, there are story producers, there are people planting seeds in these women's ear so they can show up to a scene on fire. It's not like we're just watching this raw. This stuff is planned. So we have to be honest and realistic with ourselves and say, okay, this, something else may have went on. Because let's just keep it a buck. If when you file defamation cases, and I'm not a lawyer, okay, but this is just from what I've read and what I've seen online, and I do watch other legal people on YouTube. So you have to basically, and Natasha K case with Cardi B kind of taught us a lot. you kind of have to prove that you didn't just make something up with malice, right? Now it's a difference that if I'm your close, if I have a best friend, well, everybody must have a best friend, but if I say something salacious about my best friend to somebody else, which I would never do, but I say it to somebody else, that person has reason to believe that what I'm saying is the truth because of the source being me. Now, my friend could sue me because I'm the one who defamed the name, right? But I wasn't the middleman. I wasn't playing telephone. I'm the person who originated the rumor or the salacious information that was not true. Okay? Breaking the fourth wall with the Phaedra situation is simply that Phaedra was told this information by a producer, allegedly. And so that means, you know, any actions against Phaedra would not stand, right? And Phaedra's a lawyer, so we should know that she probably knows better than to start something and possibly get sued for it. Like, let's get a lady some credit. She passed the bar. She's represented some celebrities. I mean, she's not she's not a newbie. She know what's going on. So I find it hard to believe that she would be someone to just arbitrarily make up something and make it spread. Now, what I do think happened, and again, this is my thoughts, just kind of piecing everything together. I think Candy possibly would have had a case against Bravo for allowing their employee, i.e., said alleged producer, to plant this story and for Bravo to air this story. So at that point, Bravo probably was at the mercy of Candy and did what she wanted. Candy was mad with Phaedra, so she said, "Don't bring her back. As long as she's back or on, I'm not coming." And allegedly, said producer had been let go. Um, Allegedly, Candy, had nice paychecks, since then, and she's the longest running housewife out of all of the franchises. Let's put our thinking caps on, okay? So with that being said, the Phaedra situation versus the Kenya situation is different. Although we can say the scandal could be possibly about the same, the rumor did not originate with Phaedra. Okay? So let's fast forward to what is supposedly happening later in the season with Kenya and why she is no longer a peach holder. In Kenya's situation, she intentionally wanted to blow up a poster of this woman doing a sex act, which is revenge porn, to utilize sexual images of somebody without their consent, whether it is something that was on the internet already, something that they pose for, but your intention is to embarrass or shame that person, it is considered revenge porn. Um, so now Britt may have the company at her mercy because she possibly could, take legal action against Bravo. So Bravo had to take action against Kenya to show, hey, we're taking a stand, we're with you. That was not okay. They probably had her sign a release to say, hey, but let us air this. We got you, but let us air it. Um, but yeah, Kenya has always pushed the button. She's always did a little too much, and I think she did the most and didn't realize how far this was gonna go. From when she shook Kim Field's chair, from her having the bullhorn, and even though Portia snatched her down, she was antagonizing her with that bullhorn. You still don't antagonize somebody. That's like a dog. If I keep throwing stuff at a dog, or if I keep uh, you know, harassing a dog and that dog bites me, you can't then say, well, that dog was wrong for biting you. No, that people have more compassion for animals than they have other human beings. They will definitely say, well, she was messing with that dog. That's what that dog bit her behind. Well, same thing. Same thing. She was messing with Portia, and Portia, she was at a vulnerable state. She was divorcing Cordell. It was just a lot of things going on emotional wise with her. And then we had Kenya calling her a dumb 304 on, a bullhorn, and she's only one person away from her. So you gotta understand how, that stuff kind of rolls over. But with everything being said, that's why it's a difference. That's why, if we want to break the fourth wall, let's break it for real. And let's talk about production, producers, their hands in these stories, how stuff plays out. And then again, just the sheer fact that Phaedra is a lawyer. Y'all, are we just gonna sit here and act like that lady did not go to law school? Are we gonna sit here and act like the lady didn't, you know, uh, pass the bar? That she didn't actually have clients? Um, and I'm just being real with y'all. I'm not sitting here acting like somebody's my favorite, because all of them do little things to get on my nerves. So when you watch my channel and I do these reviews, it's gonna be raw and honest. It's not gonna necessarily be, oh, because I like that person or because I'm wearing go naked hair. Because I be honest, I feel like Portia needs to stop talking about Simon. And I got the lady hair sewn into my head. I personally feel like, you know, I'm not really following the story of Simon not having the money, but you staying in the house. Like, so how did he buy the house? Because if his money was fraud, wouldn't the house be seized? Especially if he get sent back via ICE. But it is what it is. I just that something in that milk not clean to me, and I'm just not understanding it. So but again, love all the girls, love all the things that they bring, and you got to be honest. We watch reality TV for drama, so if I don't get any drama, then or if I'm not forming an opinion about something, then what am I really watching it for? Um, but yeah, I'm enjoying season 16, episode 1. They do have a high bar to meet because this is Real Housewives of Atlanta. We've had some great seasons. Like I've been watching as it leads up to this premiere, how Bravo was like almost every day showing a different season from beginning to end. And I want to say the one of the last great seasons they had was the season when Eva got married and they went to Japan. And that was one of good. That wasn't the best season, but one of the last good seasons was that one. And when they also, you know, uh, the bi-wig party, all of that was such a good time. It was good TV. So I'm looking forward to continue to have good TV with Real Housewives of Atlanta. And thank you, my angels, for watching. See you next time.